Infinite Warfare has by far the most underrated zombies mode in all of Call of Duty history, and it's not even close. People shit on this game so much when it first came out, mostly because of the multiplayer. Not necessarily that it was a bad game. I know people did say it was a bad game, but it really was just more the fact that it was another jetpack Call of Duty, and nobody wanted that. Doesn't matter how good the game was. People were sick and tired of it. They wanted to go back to boots on the ground. So a lot of people just ignored this game and didn't really get into it too much. The truth is, 90% of the people that say Infinite Warfare was a bad game never played it, or they played such little of it that their opinion doesn't really mean shit. If you're interested in the multiplayer portion of the game, I did make a video about that several months ago. It's still popping in 2024. You can still find matches and everything, which is great, and that just shows that the game is definitely a lot better than people say it is, because if it sucked as bad as everyone says, then it would be completely dead in 2024, but you actually have full lobbies going with DLC. And the Zombies mode also still has a lot of players in 2024. So I actually had a hard time finding DLC games for Zombies. So the 4 Zombies maps that were added in as DLC as part of the Season Pass, it's a lot more difficult to find matches. Interestingly enough, Call of Duty World War II seems to have a lot more zombie players in 2024 than Infinite Warfare does. You do have a lot of people playing Zombies in Spaceland, which is the base map, which is probably the best map in the entire Zombies, to be fair. But yeah, there were times where I've tried to get into a match of Shaolin Shuffle, Radioactive Thing, Beast from Beyond, and Raven the Redwoods, with no luck, sadly. And I've tested this on the weekend during the same time of day that I would try to get gameplay for World War II, and I even have Black Ops 1 DLC for Zombies that I was able to play in 2024. So yeah, Infinite Warfare, people just didn't give it enough of a chance, so the Zombies is kind of just looked over. And, because World War II's multiplayer was much more popular than Infinite Warfare's, I think that has to do a lot with the fact that Zombies is more popular in World War II. I mean, I know a lot of people that bought the deluxe edition of Infinite Warfare and literally only played Modern Warfare Remastered and never even touched Infinite Warfare. And as a lot of you guys know, Black Ops 3 on PC still has a shit ton of players, like as many players as a modern game released in 2024 would have. That's because of the custom Zombies content that you can download through the Steam Workshop. So the PC version of Black Ops 3 has official mod support from Activision, which no other Call of Duty game, or at least no Zombies Call of Duty game ever had, because I think the early games did have mod support, like we're talking Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2. But yeah, it's a thing that we don't really have, and we haven't had since. Infinite Warfare, unfortunately, despite being the next Zombies game in the Call of Duty series, it came out just a year after Black Ops 3. No mod support, no Steam Workshop. They just decided not to put that in there, and I think that was a huge thing that really hindered the success and popularity of Infinite Warfare Zombies, because I think that if they had that, there would be a lot more people interested in this game mode 8 years later. But that being said, I think it's still a very fun and solid mode that it would be great if you could get it for the right price. Like, that's the thing. Getting Infinite Warfare just for Zombies, especially since it only technically comes with one map, you'd have to pay extra to get the other 4 DLC maps. So I can't say I'd recommend you get it just for Zombies. To be fair, that's what I would say for all of the Call of Duty games. Most of the content always comes in the form of DLC, so you have to be careful about that. I think, honestly, my recommendation is if you're really interested in Infinite Warfare Zombies and not interested in the multiplayer, then I would just wait for the game to inevitably become part of Game Pass, so you can get, I would assume, the game and the DLC all included in your Game Pass subscription, and then you could play it that way. I assume that's going to happen sometime, either at the end of this year or early next year. I have no idea. Like, the only Activision games we've had so far on Game Pass are, like, Diablo 4. So, there's something holding up the Call of Duty games getting on Game Pass. I'm not sure if it's licensing or whatever, but, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for that. But it's certainly my favorite non-Treyarch Zombies mode in all of Call of Duty games. Like, I think this is definitely better than even the last few Treyarch ones that we've had, even though they're not really Treyarch. It says Treyarch, but it don't feel like Treyarch Zombies, like Modern Warfare 3 and Vanguard, that shit's terrible. But I think especially if you're a fan of Call of Duty Zombies and you never got to play Infinite Warfare, and you haven't really been a fan of the last few entries in the zombie series, then this is a good option for you because there's plenty of content in the game, again, if you have all the DLC. They're all really solid maps. The Easter eggs are fun to get. The guns, the perks, the overall zombies experience, I would easily give like an 8 out of 10. And if you don't have 3 friends that want to play an obscure game mode from 8 years ago, then you do have random people that you can play with in public matchmaking. At least on Xbox and PlayStation you do, not so much on PC, sadly. But yeah, I'd say overall it's pretty good and worth your time in 2024.